The world is changing and business opportunities are too. We always read comments, and recently many of our followers have been asking about the best opportunities for next year, 2024. So this is exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. I am about to introduce interesting independent business models that I believe you should start considering and working towards if you would like to become an entrepreneur soon. The thing is, there are a lot of gurus and business coaches online. Most of them act as if it only takes a couple of weeks to start a successful business and become wealthy. But as you probably already know, that's not how it works in the real world. To start and succeed in business, you need a lot more time and a lot more skills, especially if you have little to no initial capital. The goal of today's video is to show how you can start a business with no money and still grow it into something important. To do this, you will start as an independent worker. You won't have employees, it will be just you, which is why you need many skills at the beginning. You will be in charge of finding customers, converting them, creating a pipeline, delivering a great customer experience, delivering a product, bill them, and receive the payment. With time, you are going to hire people and delegate most of the work, especially the stuff that doesn't make you money, but is still required. And then, you'll grow into a functioning business with employees. See, there's a difference between working in the business and working on the business. When you're working in the business, you're taking care of everything that's necessary to make it run and deliver the product. This might include making the invoices, making sure everyone pays what they need to pay, even cleaning your office, dealing with customers, front end, closing deals, and so on. See the difference? Working on the business is ultimately about what will make you the most money. But working in the business will be required initially, otherwise it won't run properly. Makes sense so far? Good. Let's move on with the first category, specialization in marketing. Alright, here's an unpopular opinion. It's better to be highly specialized in a very specific subcategory of marketing than to deal with all marketing in general. Here's what I mean. Lately, everyone has been talking about SMM and SMMA, which stands for Social Media Management and Social Media Marketing Agency. Those are very broad activities. If you start an SMMA like most gurus out there tell you to, you generalize, which won't work in 2023. You can't expect to do everything for everyone. An agency that does all kinds of things, usually, is an agency that does all kinds of things badly. And even if it doesn't, that's the impression that the market will have of you. Here's an example to give you more perspective on this. Let's pretend that you're a restaurant owner. You specialize in Italian cuisine, and you have a big place in New York City. However, due to COVID-19, you're struggling to fill the restaurant. So, you need some kind of social media marketing strategy to find new customers. You have no idea of how that works, so you just want to hire an agency. Between one that's a do-it-all kind of agency and one that exclusively works with restaurants, which one would you choose? Which one would you be willing to pay the most? And most importantly, which one do you think is more experienced? The answer to all these questions, obviously, is the one that exclusively works with restaurants. This is called positioning in marketing, and it is crucial. There are many ways to specialize. Example, you can specialize your target, the type of business, or people you want to work with. You can specialize your service, the service you offer, like video marketing, managing Facebook campaigns, and so on. You can specialize in your subcategory. For example, instead of managing all kinds of marketing, you can manage the copywriting part. Or you can manage specific marketing strategies, like guerrilla marketing, influencer marketing, and so on. The first two are pretty intuitive. So let's unpack the third. I'll give you 3 examples of marketing subcategories that you can specialize in. Copywriting. Copywriting is a fundamental part of marketing. Without it, an ad or campaign wouldn't succeed. It's the part that gets people to take action, whether it's about closing the sale, getting someone's contact information, or even closing a deal. Copywriting is the art of closing in print. It's like hiring a salesperson, but it's a written piece of content that automatically closes people. Copywriters are specialized in persuasion techniques that get people to buy. Basic strategies include using people's emotions, pain points, and being able to present a product effectively and in a non-sleazy manner. There's a famous saying amongst copywriters, people buy with emotions, and then they justify the purchase with rationality. This means that the best way to persuade someone into buying something is to leverage their feelings. How? Here's an example. There's Mark and his fiancée Olivia. The lockdown has just ended in their area, and now they're allowed to go shopping. They're at the mall, and Olivia asks Mark for his credit card. She wants to buy something for herself, and Mark gives it to her. After 15 minutes, she gets back with an expensive-looking purse in her hands. Mark asks her how much she spent, and she replies $500. Mark is outraged. How could you spend that much on a purse? That's like 1/3 of my salary. What were you thinking? And Olivia replies, well, you see, it's actually a bargain. I saved 30% on it. If I would have bought it any time later, it would have cost $714. It's a huge savings. See what's going on? Right now, Olivia is justifying her purchase with rationality. The fact that she purchased something that was on sale for a limited time. So what's the emotion she purchased with? In this case, why would anyone buy a new purse? They want to feel better, to feel more confident, to receive compliments from people, and to feel beautiful. This is very emotional, which is why Olivia bought the things in the first place. This is similar to what copywriters do on a daily basis. They find the emotional attachments people have with things, and they leverage them to close the purchase. Marketing content creation. Copywriters, however, do not create the ad itself. Copy is about the words in an ad, not about the design and the images of that ad. This is a job for someone else, the content creators. Here, you could specialize even more by choosing to create a certain type of content specifically. Some examples include video making, design, graphics, branding, and so on. Managing ad campaigns on specific platforms. The most common platform for advertising is Facebook. Currently, there are about 3 million businesses actively advertising on Facebook. Other common platforms are Google Ads, Bing Ads, surprisingly, Instagram Ads, correlated to Facebook, Twitter Ads, LinkedIn Ads, and more. Instead of trying to work with all the platforms, master one of them and go from there. First, learn how to use and get results on those platforms. Then find clients and start managing campaigns for them. This includes setting up the target, some market research, knowing the platform's regulation inside out, etc. So before moving on to the next business models that you should consider for 2024, I want you to understand what's necessary in order to get started with them. First of all, you need to master the skill. So this is the study part. The development of your skills should actually never really stop. Why? Because the market won't stop for you. It'll just keep going. And if you stop studying and improving yourself, you're going to slowly get out of date and ultimately fail. It'll probably take you about 3 to 4 months to develop the basics of those skills. But take your time. I'm not here to tell you that you can become rich with this in a matter of weeks. It's slow but steady progress, which is probably a lot better than trying to get rich quick, which includes a lot more risk and honestly, too much dedication and sacrifice. This is something that anyone can do. In 2024, specialization is important for the reasons I described earlier, but it's also important if you want to stay ahead of the competition. The second step is to actually start looking for clients. Moving on. Sales, from cold calls to closing or sales management. Sales is also huge. Without a sales department, most businesses would be out of business in a short time. The goal here is to get into closing. Specifically, high-ticket closing, sales of products or services that cost around $5,000 or more. As a closer, you are paid on commission. This gives you a great opportunity to make unlimited profits as long as you're good and you know what you're doing. Even just a 10% commission on a high-ticket item could be as high as $500 or more. Even if you were to close just one sale a week, you would still make $2,000 or more. Closing is better also because compared to cold calling, it's more efficient and takes less time. Calls are much longer. Some could even last 30 minutes, but most cold calls are huge failures. But in order to get into closing, it's better if you go through cold calling. It's much easier to be hired as a closer if you already have some cold calling sales experience as opposed to not having any sales experience at all. It's great leverage to find your first clients. With time, you could also expand and create a small team of closers that you can delegate closing calls to and keep a small percentage of their sales, which is a passive income for you.